Hello, good morning, welcome. It's time for Gardening with the Garden Guru, Christie Rasure. Yes, Saturday morning at KLOE, Goodland, Kansas. I'm Curtis Duncan. Our program is brought to you by Shore's Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts. A lot of stock parts right there, ready to go. Fertile yard and garden products, too. Good morning, Christie Rasure.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, great. Looks like the winds are starting to come up a little bit, but we said they would.
I know. Welcome to Western Kansas.
Yep. Winds on a weekend, without a doubt. But should be temperatures in the low 70s today, 70 tomorrow, and maybe a slight chance of thunderstorms on Sunday night. And then the new forecast on Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday, chances of rain coming in again.
So we're never going to turn that down. We'll take it any moment.
I'm thinking that's the truth there, hole in a rain barrel.
Yeah, I would say. Having rain the other night, what was that, Thursday night? That was so refreshing and so nice to hear and wake up the next morning to rain, or, the fact that it had rained, that was just nice.
I had many callers that called in with their rainfall reports. I didn't even know it rained till I looked outside, so it was a nice, gentle rain.
Oh, it was. It was just a nice, it was. It was just a pleasant thing, and I had some windows open, and just the sound of it and the smell and everything was wonderful.
I think it's great, and we're kind of, we don't have much moon right now. We're getting more all the time tonight and tomorrow, the Lyrid meteor shower peeking through the weekend, so folks that want to see an ancient comet Thatcher, at least the remnants of it, they can watch a space from here on the good old Earth.
That'd be good.
Yep, you can see that. Well, listen, a lot of things going on. Shore's Bumper to Bumper, downtown Goodland. My goodness, Greg and the crew, they've been open since 5 this morning with not only Fertile yard and garden products, but those great Simplicity mowers and Toro mowers and equipment. Chrissy, we've got a lot of things to talk about, so let's get right to it.
Well, we've been talking about Simplicity mowers, and, I want to say something. I actually bought myself a birthday present, and I bought myself a Simplicity mower. Oh, I've been missing out for a long time. You talk about a wonderful product, and that made mowing so easy and heavy duty, but yet not so heavy. I mean, because it's got self-propelled on it, and it pivots, as it says, pivots and goes, and it's great. And oh, what a nice machine.
Well, I'm going to use mine this afternoon, windy or not. I'm going to get the thatching going and at least get that, because it's looking a little scary, and I need to do the little trimming. But I love my Simplicity rear bagger mower, self-propelled, like you said. All you do is aim and walk.
That's right, and that's so good. And, it's just one of those things that, so I enjoy mowing. I know I'm one of those crazy ones, but I enjoy mowing. But I want a machine that works, basically easy.
Oh, sure.
And, and it is. It's just, started, and it starts so easy. And that is something I really appreciate. And I will say, any woman out there can start this easily. And I did not get the electric start. I got the pull cord type, and just easy to start. Starts always first pull, and go. And I love it.
Yeah, it really is easy, and I don't have any trouble with mine, and it's just I'm going to probably mow up a little high, I think, for the first mow and the thatching. Don't you think that's an idea?
Actually, you're supposed to go lower.
Oh, lower. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're actually supposed to go lower when you're doing that.
Okay.
But, but the other thing is that I want to say, too, is, one thing I really liked about Simplicity mowers is it's not so noisy. And that is something I really noticed, because I could actually hear my cell phone over the mower. And talk about a phone.
Hear the
and that's not my cell phone.
Hear the landlines too.
Right, too. But that's something that a lot of times they are so noisy, and that was something that I really did notice, that it wasn't so noisy, and so I really like that.
Well,
not that I'm going to talk on the phone and mow at the same time, but
Well, and the safety device, once you take both hands off that, the mower stops.
Right. They've always got safety first. And so, really like this machine. That was a nice thing to do. So, anyway, now I can actually talk positive about something that I'm advertising.
I know it. When you find something good, you want to tell other people about it. No matter what you find, you've got to share that and make them feel better, whether it's for health or for mowing.
That's right, exactly. So, okay, today we've got to go and talk about a problem that's going on out there. people are talking about their ponds. The people that have ponds out there are really having struggles because of algae. Because of the cool nights, the warm days, the algae has gone nuts in that water. And Shores has the products for that. If you do not use barley bales, you're going to have a major problem. But even if you are using barley bales, you still may have a little problem because we're all seeing this. Green algae is a string algae that is just a natural occurrence. It's just something that we have to deal with. It is a airborne spore that actually attacks the water, hits the water, and then from there just goes and starts growing because it has all of the, it has the right environment for it all. It has water, it has movement, and it has the cool temperature that it likes, but warm, the sunshine is heating it up. So everything is perfect for that algae to grow. So we have to kill that algae. And Shores has two products that would work. Either one of them would work very well. One is a liquid product called Algae Fix. The other one is called Green Clean. It's a granule. And depending on what size of pond you have and how bad your algae is, either one of these products would be great. The other thing that you want to make sure that if you have not put a barley bale in yet, make sure you get a barley bale in so you don't have this problem all summer long. So that is the question. I've had a lot of questions on what am I going to do with my pond. My pond is so bad. And even though I use barley bales, I've even had some problems with it too. So that's what I want to make sure that we talk about that immediately.
Now they just float around the pond there? Is that all they do?
The algae?
Yeah. Well, no, the barley bales.
The barley bale does.
Okay.
Yeah, you just put it in. You can either tether it, because most of them have a long string that comes with it, and you can tether it to the side so that it doesn't get into your filter system and all that. Or, and eventually what it does is it gets encapsulated with a lot of enough water that it actually will sink.
Oh.
And you do not take it out. Just let it biodegrade totally before you take it out.
Okay.
Usually, good 6 months, if not longer. It depends on how big a bale you put in there. So, but you can use that and the Algae Fix or the Green Clean. Either one of those products you can use together. And that is something that needs to be dealt with right now. The joys of having a pond, we all love them, but that is something we do have to fight with, is the green string algae.
Yeah, we're constantly pondering our ponds, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
we are.
Oh, sorry, I just saw that coming in.
I knew that was coming.
Well,
I knew that was coming.
Leave it to Shores to have what you need. Isn't that great to have that in the tri-state area? I mean, people travel from miles around to go to Shores and buy these products.
That's right, exactly, because sometimes it's very, very difficult to find pond products, and they have a large selection, in fact, about 12, probably a good 12 foot of this stuff, of different chemicals, different, the biological treatments, the bacteria, all of that kind of stuff that you need for ponds. They also have, like, some of the food for the fish. They have different pumps. They have different spray nozzles. They even have the thermometers for the ponds. So, if you need it, they probably got it. And so they actually even have the lights, pond lights with the transformers. Something, if you want to add some neat decor, neat ambiance to your pond, they actually have that also.
Wow, how nice. Well, they've got growing lights for indoor growing and all that. But so ponds are the big focus, so get those barley bales or the other products that Shores has. And they're at very competitive prices, a lot better than you'll find at some stores.
Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of the catalogs, because I know I was checking prices the other day, and the catalogs, the price on the catalogs plus the freight on top of it was unreal. And especially on this one product, it was like half the price.
Oh.
So why order it, have to wait, get it right now. So that's the thing you need to think about. So, and pay a lot less money.
Well, so, and have people that want to help you, not just a catalog.
Exactly. That's true. So, okay, now you were talking about the growing systems. and the light systems. And yes, Shores has the greenhouses, the little greenhouses. They have all the starting, median. They have the little peat pots. They have what they call pelleted, biodegradable peat pots. They have all of this. So if you're still wanting to start some plants, it's not too late. We're right on the edge for tomatoes. Just on the edge. I would say after this weekend, forget it. You can't do tomatoes anymore.
Oh, okay.
But you could still do cantaloupe, watermelon, squash, cucumbers. Any of those plants could still be done. And so if you want to do something like that, come down here, especially if you've got kids, and you want to show them, the miracle of growing a seed. Come on down. They have the growing systems. They have the starter kits. They also have the light systems. And I love that light system. Down at my store, which is Designs Unlimited, we have one of the light systems set up, and tomatoes are growing great. And I've got basil, parsley, peppers, sweet peppers, and all those. So people can come down and see all the different things that we have growing.
I like that idea. Let's get growing. What do you say?
That's right. Exactly.
Well, the whole family can get in on it.
Oh, yeah. And, it's one thing for Mom and Dad to have a garden, but why not have a garden for the kids, too? And
Sure.
they can learn. And, even if you give them just a small section of your garden, let them see the miracle of growing, of plants growing. If they rip them out, that's fine. That's their garden. Let them see what they can do with their garden.
Well, Christie, if the parents and grandparents don't pass this down to the kids, it's gone.
It is. It's like a lost art. And it's something very important. Not only are we teaching them the miracle of life, but we are also teaching them the importance of having fresh vegetables, too, and how good they are for us. And whether you grow organically or not, it's just one of those things that we need to be passing this down. And I'm starting to see more of a movement for this again, and people are starting to can again and all that. And so it's fun to see. And as Master Gardeners, that is what we are here to do, is to share and to teach people the joys of gardening, the enjoyment of gardening, and how you can really do it. So anytime that you have questions, we as Master Gardeners are very happy to share.
I like that idea. It's good. That's why you go to the classes. You constantly keep updated, too.
Yes, we do. And I was going to say, we are always having new classes starting. So if the Master Gardener class just finished, but another one will be next February, March. So if you're interested, contact the Extension office in any of your counties, because I know we hit a lot of counties with our radio show. Contact your Extension agent and try to find out where next year's will be. I'm sure it will be east of here, but that's all I know. And so especially since it was in Sharon Springs this last year.
Okay, very good. Well, Christie, you need to take just a very short break. It's Gardening with the Garden Guru, Christie Rasure, presented by Shores, Bumper to Bumper, downtown Goodland, and those quality Fertilome yard and garden products, Simplicity lawnmowers, Toro. Man, they've got it all. We've got some other great things to talk about today on a sunny, breezy day, high 72, and north winds gusting at 35 already. And looks like Burlington 60, Goodland 60, and Colby 59. Well, Christie, what else can we focus on today? There's always good things here that Shores Bumper to Bumper can help us out with.
Well, we've talked before, this time of year that we put the pre-emergence on for our lawns to keep that crabgrass away. The only thing is that I do want to stress to people is if you are wanting to reseed your yard or reseed a special area in your yard, do not go and put a pre-emergent on there. A pre-emergent actually puts a barrier on the ground and keeps that seed from coming up. And so you can't do both. You can't reseed and put pre-emergent on at the same time. And so this would be a great time to be thinking about reseeding a yard or reseeding patches in your yard. But like I said, make sure you don't put a pre-emergent down or have not put a pre-emergent down. If you are thinking about reseeding an area, I would really recommend to put Revive, which is a soil treatment. It's actually an organic soil treatment for your lawn or your garden. I've been using this in my garden, especially my gardens, my perennial beds, and my vegetable gardens, and I'm really impressed by what this is doing. I've got areas where have not been treated. I've got areas that have been, and I can see the big difference in it. What Revive does is it increases your water penetration, and it actually makes your water wetter. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but it does work. It breaks up and it loosens your hard soil, which is something that we definitely have around here, and especially with all that clay. If you have not worked in peat moss, compost, organic matter of any kind, that soil just gets harder and harder. One of the things that I also want to stress is do not put sand in your soil, because we have clay soil. And if you put sand and clay and then put water with it, what happens is it becomes like cement.
Oh.
So you definitely do not want to put sand in your soil around here.
I never thought about that.
Yes. It's not a good combination, let me tell you. One of the things also that Revive does is it turns your lawns. If you use it on your lawns, if you use it with your perennials and all, it just makes everything dark green. There is something in here, and I'm sure it's partly magnesium, that just really works well to turn those plants just that gorgeous, lush, dark green that makes them look so healthy. And so that's a product. This is a product I really recommend. I haven't got to plant all my onions yet, but this is a product that I like to put down when I plant my onions. And people know I like to grow big onions, so it works well. Keeps that soil nice and loose, because on onions you want that. Also, if you want a loose area for carrots, parsnips, beets, any of those root crops, potatoes, any of those, you want to make sure that soil stays loose and all. Revive works very, very well. The other thing is, if you are working on planting your onions, or you have planted your onions, a product that works very well is that turf and ornamental weed and grass stopper. It is pre-emergent, and if you are planting onion plants, this works very well to use that in your garden, just in that area, not in your whole garden, just in that area, because since you have plants there, you can actually put this pre-emergent down, and it will keep those weeds out. And anybody that knows that has planted onions, you'll know that onions do not like to compete with weeds. They are very, very selfish. They want all that water to themselves, and they want all that soil to themselves. And so they want to just have it to themselves, and which means a lot of weeding on our part, or be thinking ahead, use a pre-emergent, and then you don't have to do quite as much weeding, if any. I mean, this has really stopped my weeding problems by using this product. Works wonderful.
Now, is it granular or
It's
liquid?
Granule. It's granule.
So you could put it on today?
Oh yeah, and make sure you water it in. If that wind gets really, really stout, though, I might wait a little bit, because I hate to go and have this blowing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're talking about, how hard that wind's supposed to be.
Well, say north 15 to 25, but we're already gusting to 30.
Yeah, so see, it's a little hard, so I would wait till the wind calms down a little bit before I put it on, because it's a fine granule. And so, but plant those onions. What I do when I plant onions is I work that soil well. I am not a proponent of rototilling, because what it does is actually just beats that soil, and you end up with a hard pan. So, yes, where I live, I disc my soil. You know, not everybody in town can do that. But you want to take it down as deep as you can, whether you hand spade or that's about the best thing you could do, especially because you want to go just as deep as you can. And work that soil well. Plant those, make your furrow, and then plant those onions. And if you're planting plants, you plant every 4 inches is another plant. And you want to make sure that it's that wide or far apart, because those onions get very large. And So every 4 inches, cover that up, and then between the rows, I use this turf and ornamental weed and grass stopper. Sprinkle that on, and water everything well, and keep those onions watered well, because onions require a lot of water.
Every 4 inches, that's about like a distance of a fist, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Depends on, probably not my fist, but, yeah. But, and I'm one of those, I know, I'm very meticulous on that, but because I plant so many onions, I want them evenly spaced and everything. Some people do plant them closer together, and then they go and pull every other one and eat them early. But I try not to do that. I like to have as many big onions for the winter storage as I can.
Oh.
So the other thing I want to say, if you have not bought your onion plants, I do have them at Designs Unlimited. So get that plug in. So if you're looking for onion plants, I have a large variety of different types, everything from the Texas Sweet to the Candy, Big Apple, or Big Daddy, plus the others in between. So I do have those down there.
Wow, a lot of things. You've got a busy day ahead once you're done with this, too, aren't you?
Yeah, we have prom.
Prom at 6 o'clock, yeah. Goodland Elks Lodge, promenade at 7:15 at the Max Jones tonight. It'll be nice for all that.
Yeah, I would say hopefully by then the wind has calmed down, and yeah, come and look at these kids. I mean, they clean up well, and so I'm excited to see. I've seen some of the dresses. Some of the girls were bringing the dresses in, and oh, they're beautiful. So I can't wait to see them all cleaned up and prettied up. I mean, I'm excited about this for these kids.
Well, and they'll be decorated. The guy's probably a boutonniere, and the girl's probably a corsage or ridge corsage, maybe.
That's right, exactly. I would say we've been making lots of them, and so come down and see all the pretties they have on.
How are we doing on trees? Has the water that we've been getting, the tree water or rainwater, helping a lot?
It is helping. As dry as our winter has been, they would appreciate a good shot of water. If you have the time, especially people out in the country, if you have the hoses, and if you don't, Shores carries all the hoses and the long lengths, too, of hoses. But I was going to say, if you've got the time, it's wise to go and be laying those hoses out. Don't put them at the trunk of the tree. Lay them out a ways, because those roots go a long ways out. The drip line or the edge of your tree, as far as the branches go, that's as far as the roots go. So when you're just laying that hose right at the trunk, you're really not watering that tree. We take that hose out a long ways. And, yes, those trees they're just thirsty. They're hungry. I don't want to say hungry because we don't know how much moisture we're going to get for a while. And so if we start getting that moisture, some good rains, then I would recommend going and feeding those trees. But right now, just watering them. That is what they are hungry for. So that is what we do recommend. The other thing is, I know a lot of people are talking about planting trees. And you know me, if you buy a $10 tree, you have to have a $100 hole. And when we talk about that, what we are talking about is it's not how deep you go, because you should never plant the tree any deeper than what it is planted in that ball and burlap or that pot. But you want to make that hole just as wide as you can make it, because this is the only time that you're going to be actually amending that soil and preparing that soil and that hole for that tree, making its home. And just like we want to have a nice home, that tree wants to have a nice home too. So what we do is try to make that hole just as big as we can. And I know it's a little extra effort, a little extra work, but it works so much better later on. We do not recommend, and I say we, Master Gardeners, the tree service, your forestry service and all, does not recommend using a post hole digger, because what that does is it shines the hole. And if you ever have done this or ever put a post hole in, you'll see when you pull that out, actually that hole is shiny because of that metal against that soil. And what that does is it keeps roots from penetrating into there.
Oh.
And so we don't want that. It doesn't take that much time to go and take that shovel, dig a hole, and like I said, dig it around, dig it like a basin type. And then put peat moss in there and work that in there. Then plant. And what I do is I always try to do my hole the day before I'm actually going to plant. And water, and water, and water, and water. The more you water, the better off you're going to be.
Before you put the tree in or after?
Before you put that tree in.
Before, okay.
Because most likely you're going to put it in where you're going to have either grass, whether it be bluegrass, or you're going to have buffalo grass. And what that does is it whips all that water away. And it takes a lot of water to grow grass. And that is something that we have found more and more is the more water you give that hole, the better off you are. And so the way I usually do it is 24 hours in advance, I go try to do this hole. I build my hole or dig my hole very well, put some peat moss in there, and then work that very well, and then start watering it. And I'll fill that hole full of water, and then come back, say, an hour later, fill it again. And you'll watch. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes to get rid of that water out of that hole. You know, the first time, it's gone. The second time, it takes a little longer for it to disappear. By the end of the day, what I try to do is just, fill it, and hopefully it'll stay wet for a good 30 minutes, if not an hour, and full of water, because that means that the soil around is actually becoming full of water also. It's not taking that water away from us or wicking that water. And then the next day what I do is I come out, I go and take the tree out of the pot, ball and burlap, whatever you're planting, and make sure that your roots are not encircled into that pot. So you want to cut those roots. I always do it 4 times, north, south, east, and west, and then put that tree into that hole, and then backfill at the same height that it has been growing with soil and peat moss that you have from that hole, and then but keep a berm, as we call it, around there to keep that water as we water every day. And that tree does need to be watered every day as it's getting established for the first 2 weeks.
Good idea. So water.
Water. You can't water. And that's the same principle as I do on the roses also. People ask me how I grow my roses, and that's how I do it. Every day, those roses get watered. And if it's very, very dry, a windy day, hot windy day, they may get watered twice, just because I want to make sure those roots are really staying moist. And then after the first 2 weeks, then what I do is, it's about every 2 or 3 days, I start watering. And basically, I wean them off. And that first year, especially the first summer, once a week, they get a very, very deep watering. Make sure you mulch everything well. And I usually try to mulch, if not, usually about the second day. Usually the first day, I'm making sure everything is deep in water. And then the second day, I mulch it well. But make sure everything is watered well for the first 2 weeks.
Good idea. Good idea. We have about a minute left, Christie. Time goes quickly when you're downloading good information. Well,
I was going to say, this show goes so fast every time. Make sure that you're working hard on getting that garden prepared well now. It'll save you so much time, so much energy when it comes down to the summer, later on in the summer. And so what you do now will save you lots and lots of time later on.
I like that idea. Now, how can folks reach you? I guess certainly you're at Designs Unlimited throughout the